let's see what he ends up doing today, but ultimately it'll probably be Dan Hula who'll be the front rider, then Case Bowl, then Olaf Koy, but they don't have the strength of a team like Alps and Premier Tech, who are out and out for Philipsen. When you look at it, with Mathieu van der Poel, his last lead-out man normally. Before that, they've got Sylvain Dillier, and then they've got Marsman, Plankert, Reichert, and Emil Verstringer, as well as Ramses de Bruyne, who's a bit more of a lightweight rider. But all of those riders are very, very strong, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the big riders. Are well used to this work. Kilometer 92, Leutzen. So this is in France. There's 98 departments.
Okay.
And 92 is the number of the department of Leutzen, who is a sponsor now for quite some years. And they have the arch every day at 92 kilometers to go.
These are cool little cars.
Yes, the Citroëns, a few Renault 5s, Citroën DS.
All part of the side of the road. We normally see quite a few of those during the year. Renault 5, well, Renault have brought back a Renault 5, haven't they?
They have electric.
Yes. Have you been in one?
I have, yeah.
They're quite cool, aren't they?
Yeah, a very flashy yellow one.
Yes. One of my mates bought one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, I'm surprised. He bought a bright yellow car. He's like, yep, well, it's the colour. Felt like it was the colour you had to have.
I feel they've done a good job where the new car really looks like a modern version of the old car, but still kept the essence of the old car.
True. I agree with you. It does look good. 91.2 kilometres of racing to go. In the yellow jersey is Torstein Tran, who is from UnoX Mobility, a rider with a lot of story. He had testicular cancer in 2022. That was found by the doctor of the team. He got through that, came back. He's worn the red jersey in La Vuelta, finished 9th in La Vuelta. You remember he fractured his elbow in the Tour de France? In about stage 3 or 4 or something, and then rode all the way to the end with a fractured elbow. And also, I was told last night, and I'd forgotten about this, that in the UAE Tour a year ago or so, he had a really bad concussion. When he got back to Norway or back to Europe, they realised he had really bad concussion, but it was affecting his balance so much that it was almost like a vertigo thing. So he ended up having to lie down pretty much for a month just to stabilise everything in his head so that he could then start to recover and come back. So he's had a lot of setbacks as a rider.
That's a lot of setbacks for such still quite a young rider or a young career. And he was actually that's a funny one, a bit of imagination. He's actually now working with one of the devices that will calculate concussions. They have that on their helmet. UnoX team, UnoX Mobility team, are using these sensors on the helmets, a little blue sensor that they put at the back of the helmet. So hopefully they'll be able to get as much data as possible, so as we don't have to repeat that, or they can actually treat it in a lot quicker way than 8 to 10 days after. There he is, hands off the bar, getting a bit of fuel in, the yellow jersey.
The reservoir at Lizette, heading towards the race finish. The yellow jersey, just getting a little bit of food on board, just having a stretch as he sits up a little bit. We're going to have an interview now with the yellow jersey, Torstein Tran, as he heads now towards Po, his first day in yellow.
No, we have a really good team, so I don't think it will be a problem. And then, yeah, we have the machine, Abra, who can do everything. So I think we have plenty of people.
Yesterday, I guess there was a lot of emotion. There was a bit of time to take distance with it, to think about it. We know you can climb really well. And there's a big gap for the distance. So up to where now you think you can keep this jersey?
Oh, I think we have to see after tomorrow to Malay stage. Like you say, normally I can climb pretty well, but it all depends on how it's going and how I'm feeling and how the heat is demanding. So yeah, we'll do it day by day and see how it goes.
Enjoy it today. Thank you very much.
The yellow jersey. This is Fernando Gaviria, who at one point in his career you'd have said would have been one of the favourites for today's stage. But Gaviria can surprise.
He can surprise, and I still think he'll be around that kind of 4th to 6th position. We often see him around that position, and a bit like in the interview earlier on with Bauhaus, if things go well, it could be better.
Tends to go a little bit early in his sprint now. His timing's not quite, or hasn't been in recent races, his timing's not quite what it was. When he was right on his game and he could really attack at the perfect moment, he would be an out-and-out favourite. Team buses are still coming in here at the finish line. Thanks to all of you for joining us during today's stage. This is stage 5 of the Tour de France. A little bit more of a different one because we're on flat roads. Here we are, Met Company and EOS on their team radio.
So remember guys, it's not switched off in terms of the section now, but paying attention to cooling and everything. Let's just keep the heads up, let's keep alert. Remember we're preparing for tomorrow as well.
An important message from the sports director.
Yeah, again, it's all about, it's a 3-week race, and it's all about thinking about tomorrow. So it's very easy to forget to eat on an easier day. And they still have a fueling plan, and it's important to stay on top of things because, again, tomorrow is going to be a very demanding day in terms of energy. So it's about making sure that your levels are all filled in to be able to tackle tomorrow in the perfect way. So it's, when they're talking about staying on top of things, staying core temperature down, it's all about making the most to think about not just what's going to happen today, which seems to be pretty straightforward, but just to be more ready and not to be any deficit for tomorrow.
Sports director's doing an important job right now just to give little reminders. Thank you to all of you who have messaged in over the last 4 days of racing. It's been really nice to hear from you. Just a few quick mentions. Sue Mali, thank you very much for listening and watching. Martin Knutska, thank you very much for messaging in. And Anita Victoria Palazzo as well. Also a special mention, which Nico will like, from Elizabeth Snonsill, who loves your dinner ideas. Elizabeth Snowsill loves your dinner ideas, so there you go, Nico. That will come later.
I'll come later.
There was quite a lot of talk still about where Paul Sextus is going to end up next season, isn't there? You were telling me earlier that Wiesma are now thinking about it as well.
Yes, there was an interview yesterday from Kugo that said that if there was one team that would help him develop to be the best GC rider, it would be the team of Wiesma Lease Bike.
And that was from the head of the team?
It was from the owner of the team, yes, the head of the team. Go to QR code.
Don't forget, scan that. You can get the app of the Tour de France. Don't forget to play the fancy game. And also, don't forget to vote for your most combative rider of the day. Who do you think that might be?
And the rider of the day, you can vote up from the kilometer 50 to the kilometer 30 to go. I would say our sole breakaway man.
I would say so. No one else has done anything apart from go back and take bottles.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
It's work.
It is.
But we'll give our solo breakaway rider a bit of a thumbs up for going up there and trying something.
This is the little village now. 570 people live here. The castle's disappeared now. See, one of the helicopters just landed in the field down there on the right-hand side. Montsequy was associated with D'Artagnan, who was born nearby at Castlemore Castle in Lupiac. His real name was Charles de Batz de Castelmour. His mother, Francoise de Montsequy d'Artagnan, was descended from the branch of the last lords to own this town. So we are linked with the Three Musketeers.
And D'Artagnan is not D'Artagnan.
No, D'Artagnan is not D'Artagnan. Did you know that?
No.
There you go. Learn something every day.
Do you have a different name?
Me? No. Do you?
3 minutes 30 is the gap to the peloton. So still quite settled between 3 minutes, 3 minutes 30. Peloton kind of slows down, lets that gap grow up again, goes it back to 3 minutes. Wellens at the back of the peloton there, waiting to go and pick up bottles, I assume.
If you're a musketeer, then what would your name be? Lenny Martinez fancies himself as a musketeer with that moustache, doesn't he?
Definitely. A lot of work on the trim. I mean, so did Alain Philippe.
Yeah, he did, for sure. He's gone through that phase now.
Yes.
There's a way to watch Tour de France. A little bit of a view from a bit of height. Alternatively, become the Pink Panther. Doesn't that really looks to me like Baz Teatley? Does it look like him to you?
No.
No? He's certainly here. The fans are enjoying the race. Our solo breakaway rider is Baptiste Weistroffer of the team of Lotto Intermarché. He's been on the attack all day today. He's working well. He has done a tremendous job in being out there for his team and trying to hold off this peloton. He's got an advantage now of 3:26. His average speed, 44.8 kilometres an hour so far. The wind's dropped. It's only 8 kilometres an hour. Well, this rider was on everybody's lips as a rider who might go on the attack, so we interviewed him just before the start.
Well, yesterday I held myself back a little. I needed to recover. I think it was too long. I'm going to try and make an interesting move if everything goes well. We're in France. I'm French. I also want to enjoy the roads. I'm going to try and find myself in the front one way or another and see what I can do. It's going to be interesting. So, kilometer 1, bang! Yeah, if I'm in the queue of cars and I'm not slow, well, I'll stay with the cars. I don't know if there'll be a lot of battles. We never know, though. It's the Tour. The Tour is so important. I'm going to be in the start, and if I have to, I'll have a go.
Totally his intention today to go up the road.
Yes.
If you asked 100 people before the race start who was going to be on the attack, I think 90 people would have written down his name.
And the only 10 is because they don't know him yet.
Yeah, exactly. He's such a good rider. 3:30, starting to build a bit of a lead now. Starting to go up a tiny bit. This is Phil Bauhaus, who's enjoying his birthday. He's not the only rider with a birthday today, is he?
No. One more rider who is Paganzoli from Bisma Lisa Bike, the young Italian climber.
Yep. Still the pace going. Whilst we've got a little bit of time, let's run through the finds of yesterday. Peloton still moving well. Let's run through those for you. There was quite a few, well, there was 2 or 3 things that the commissaires noted down. And those were, number 1, a rider or team staff disposing of waste or other objects outside the litter zones. Flan van Mechelen, Bahrain victorious, was fined 500 Swiss francs and 25 points from the UCI ranking. There was a note that, unfortunately, Kel O'Brien arrived outside the time limit yesterday for Jaco Alula. The winner's time was 4 hours, 10 minutes and 45. The limit was 37:37. And he came home nearly 10 minutes outside of that time limit. As part of the fight against technological fraud, 5 bikes were checked, 10 bikes were x-rayed, and all bikes complied with UCI regulations. And today, the feed zone will open after 10 kilometres and will end 10 kilometres from the finish. And they also noted, as Nico outlined yesterday, that the use of musettes in the bottle zones remain in place for stage number 5. In terms of the medical yesterday, only Jake Stewart went to the doctors after a crash. He had facial trauma after he hit the road. We've seen him back at the doctor's car today. He looks like he's okay, but he just needs a little bit of treatment to make sure that everything is all right. 81 kilometres to go, heading towards the intermediate sprint at Vicon-Bigorre. That's going to be the main part of today's stage. Yellow jerseys, Torstein Tran. This is a nice little area, isn't it? Look, they've got all the names written on the road of the riders. Baptiste Weisstroffer is in the lead, coming up to this little archway out of the town. This looks to me like Bassuez. So the whole peloton's going to get through there in a few moments' time. Lots of the riders in here are trying to find ways of giving back or trying to encourage riders to race and ride bikes and get involved in the sport, aren't they? We think about the highest profile one being Tadej Pogacar. He's got what he's called his Poggy team. The other day when I was at a race, his Poggy team camper van was parked in the car park next to us. I think it was at Tour of Rhône-Alpes. So he's got his Poggy team, but there's a few other riders, and one in particular, who have started to try and find ways to encourage riders to race and get involved in the sport.
Yes, there's actually quite some riders in the peloton. We'll talk about the news of today, where Filippo Ganna just launched his Filippo Ganna Cycling Academy, and he's going to support a junior team for 2027 and onwards. So that'll be nice for Italian cycling. We know Italian cycling is a little bit struggling to find young talents at the moment for such a historical country, and we've seen very often interviews of Filippo Pozzato saying there's not enough done for the youth. Well, now Filippo Ganna is trying to work on that by creating his academy. Close enough to where we are now, or where we were the last couple of days, is Carlos Verona. He also has his school of cycling, and he goes from really the young age kids, and he does all the Gymkhana, which is all the yes. And actually, Andrew McQuaid, my manager and the manager of a lot of the Yates, for example, Richie Port, and now Tom Pidcock as well. His kids go to this academy to go and play around with the bikes.
Really?
And basically it teaches them to get their balances. They do fun games on the bike. They go around cones, emergency stops, from the very age of 4. So it's really, really fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Landa has his academy with Dioscadi department and region down in the Pays Basque, to the point where he was actually asked to step down from that position, because apparently there's a rule in the UCI saying that you cannot be a rider and be part owner of a different team, because they wanted to go continental at some point.
Right.
So he had to step back from that position, but he's still involved with the rest of the team, with the juniors and the rest of the academy, just not with that continental team or the 23 team. And actually, many years ago, I had my academy in Ireland called the NRPT, the Nicholas Roach Performance Team.
Okay.
And I'm very proud to say that I had Eddie Dunbar race, and win races in France under my performance team. So Eddie was racing for another local team back in Ireland, and I had managed to find a sponsor back then, which was an insurance company, who helped the riders go and race abroad. And we had about, at the time, Cycling Ireland didn't send juniors. They were kind of cutting on budget. So I got the invitations from some of the teams to go and replace Cycling Ireland. So what I created, that's why it was a team and not a club,
Yeah.
is I would take some of the riders from different regions and set them abroad with my jersey. So one of them was Eddie Dunbar. And it was great to have Eddie Dunbar go and race some junior races in France and make him win some of the little races here.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is many years ago, so it's, unfortunately I stopped that team with funding was quite difficult just before COVID. I think it was 2017, but the team lasted about 5 years.
That's great. And if you get a rider who ends up winning stages in La Vuelta, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and let's to know, Eddie Dunbar is one of my close friends.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Obviously, back then we had, I think, more than 10 years difference. It
Yes.
was when you're 24 and 16, or 26 and 16 is a big gap, but less
Yeah.
when you're 30 and 40,
Very true.
or 28 and 40.
Imagine if Filippo Ganna finds the next Filippo Ganna.
I'm pretty sure that's what he's looking to do.
But it's great that you've got the pro riders trying to find a way to encourage people to come into the sport to be discovered. Doesn't Michał Kwiatkowski also have an academy in Poland, or
Yes,
did
I
have?
think so. And I'm pretty sure if we continue strolling through the name of riders, some other names will come up.
Yes.
This is just the ones that came out to me earlier on today. I think a lot of riders try and help out if it's their local club or the region where they're from. And by helping out sometimes is just by giving exposure, being there with the kids, giving them a few days a year to go and help them out, give some advice, give some chats.
But Pogacar's foundation now is raising money. He's just given a lot of money towards the town, the local town that he grew up in, because they were having floods and there was a lot of damage done, so he's donated a load of money into that region to try and help out. Look at the length of the peloton right now. It's very, very long as the riders continue. Look at this.
There's D'Artagnan. Or is that Athos?
Not sure. Weistroffer still at 3:15. We've enjoyed watching this rider off the front today as he continues to try and get to the finish on his own. Is it possible he could outwit the peloton today? So far, it looks like the peloton are keeping him very, very close. This is Remco at the back of the race at the moment. Looks like he might have had a little stop, so he's got to get himself back into the race as quickly as possible.
We're actually talking about the sprinters, and I mentioned him earlier on. Marcel Kittel, well, his last Tour de France victory was also here in Pau. He just posted a nice post there with he was actually took the green jersey. Oh, he was in the green jersey, excuse me. 2017 already. Marcel Kittel, who is back working more and more with teams as a sprint coach. It's good to see him. At some point he said he was tired of cycling, kind of had disappeared, and now it's good to see him back on the side of the road or in the car supporting some of the teams. 3:12.
I've just been told and reminded the Three Musketeers, Artos, Porthos and Aramis. Or Artemis or Aramis?
Aramis.
Aramis.
Have you not seen The Man in the Iron Mask?
No, I haven't actually. Do I need to watch that?
It's probably the oldest version of the Three Musketeers. There's been a lot of them
I
remakes.
need to go and watch them again, you know. So next year when we get to this region, I'm able to talk about the Three Musketeers in some detail.
Jeremy Irons and
I just remember the cartoon. There was a cartoon series in the UK for the Three Musketeers. Bottle from Weistroffer into that area. More cars at the side of the road. Thanks very much for joining us. Hope you're enjoying today's stage. A little bit of a different one. It's been flat out over the last 4 days. Today it's still pretty rapid, but Weistroffer is the only leader and he's doing everything he can to try and stay away We're heading to Pau. Pau is a host town for the 77th time. 67 starts and 63 finishes here so far. Of course, sometimes we've gone Pau to Pau. Classic venue, appeared on the map of the Tour de France for the first time in 1930. The Italian icon Alfredo Binda won his first stage in the race here in Pau, and it's featured almost every year since. It's been a stage city in 77 out of 90 editions since 1930, so 86% of the time. This is the charity, isn't it?
Yes.
Alongside the Tour de France.
Nice to be able to donate blood. I wonder where the Cardinal of Richelieu is. He's always portrayed as the bad guy, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to the team car. Bottles coming up. I love their outfits, though. They've really taken some time to get this right, haven't they? Looks fantastic.
Right, brilliant.
Well done. Sometimes you just get amazed by the fans of the Tour. Pau is the third most visited town in Tour history after Paris and Bordeaux. Both of them we are going to, of course, in this year's Tour. We are going to Bordeaux in a few days' time. And we are going to Paris at the end of the Tour, as generally we always do, apart from on the occasion when we finished in Nice. .36 degrees is the temperature on the motorbike behind Weistroffer. It must be really hot out there on his own as he feels all the heat from the tarmac, the heat on his back. But you have to admire the way this rider has taken this on today. He's going to be in the lead on every single highlight. Clicks his way through his computer in front of him. And everybody by the end of the afternoon is going to know the name of Baptiste Weistroffer. And if things continue like this, he'll be the most combative rider if everybody votes for him at the end of the afternoon as well, and be on the podium. I've just noticed who's sitting next to us in the commentary position. Mauro Giannetti has popped in to have a chat with Swiss television this afternoon. He's looking as lean and fit as ever, and looks like he's having a nice time. He doesn't look relaxed. He looks very, very relaxed, doesn't he, Mauro Giannetti? He looks like he's having a good afternoon here at the Tour. No pressure, no stress.
No, not today anyway.
Not today anyway. Maybe tomorrow. We're going to take a look at riding into the future. Let's take a look at this clip.
Puedes encourager en venant à vélo. Subir caminando, disfrutarlo, montar en bici, creo que es lo más divertido.
If you live near France, I would go bikepacking.
Venez nous encourager sur le bord de la route.
Se quel giorno lasciate tutte le macchine a casa, venite a piedi, in bici e godetevi lo spettacolo.
Mais venez en transport en commun
Si vous voulez venir nous encourager sur les routes, pensez au covoiturage.
ou en vélo.
Ride it, walk it, run it. Just come up how you want, but in an eco-friendly way.
Nice little message there by the riders. That was the last rider talking there, Remco Evenepoel. This gold bike of Olympic champion. There's Alain Philippe, the real D'Artagnan of the peloton. 3 minutes the gap. Nicely stretched peloton. And this is how the course is going to look at the moment. Slightly up and down. Just appreciate the nice scenery here closer to Pau. 71.5 kilometers to go. Couple of climbs, it will get a bit easier. About 50 kilometers to go for these next 20 kilometers. They will go up and down through the towns of Bassou, Mascars, Marillac, and make their way towards the intermediate sprint. Be interesting to see who goes flat out for the intermediate sprint. 25 points at the intermediate sprint. Obviously, we'll have. I don't think they'll catch the solo man, so I think he will take the 25s, but it's still a top 14 riders who will score points. And today, with the new rule in the Tour de France, they've changed the way the classification is done. Stages like today will give the winner 70 points. It used to be 50 points on the flatter stages. So again, they're trying to make sure that it is a sprinter that will make it to Paris with the green jersey. It's been so close the last years, with so many mountaintop stages being taken by the top climbers and scoring all those points at the finish line, that they decided to give a bigger advantage. So it's only about 30 points for a mountain stage, and it's 70 points, so more than double of the points for a sprinter stage. And it's always 25 at the intermediate sprint. Rural riding a bit more at the front at this point. I think they'll be going there with Gaviria. We spoke about him earlier on. There's a green jersey of yesterday. A friend of mine actually joked a bit last night with saying that it's funny, everyone complaining about the heat. And we have all Scandinavians in the leader's jersey, in the yellow and in the green jersey. You can just see the sweat there. A lot of riders just pouring themselves with water. It's 32 degrees at the finish line, so again, another hot day. Saint Martin Church in the town of La Brette. And again, all pretty much the same happening. The two teams taking turns at the front. Teams of Sudak Quick-Step and Alpecin Prematech, the two big favorites in terms of sprinters teams, with Merlier and Philipsen. But again, still a lot of and there's a team there of Jonas Vingegaard sitting in about 30th, 40th position. And days like today, it's not much battling for position so far, so you could easily just cruise, stay in the middle of the peloton, just ride with your teams. And there was a great helicopter shots where you could just see how, instead of having all the mix of colors, you'd have all the teams trying to ride together, one behind the other. Just sit with your team. Team of Postinal probably going there with Paul Bittner. Again, one of those sprinters who, on a good day, can get a top result. Marco just getting Spottles in the front of the peloton. A lot of work by the teammates, just back. A bit of a chat there. I don't know if he is that happy of committing that much to the chase.
With this heat, it's easily for the tempers to get a little bit frayed.
Yes, totally.
It's tricky, isn't it?
It's tricky, and you know, I know Weaver Maka is professional and he's there for his job, but I'm pretty sure he's also thinking about tomorrow.
Yes.
He is one of the good climbers, probably one of the three climbers of the team with Barret-Pant and Van Wilder. And I think he knew he had to ride today. I don't think he's happy committing that much.
No, because he wants to be there tomorrow, doesn't he?
Yeah, in the breakaway.
Big day, in the breakaway. Now we're approaching the intermediate sprint. It's not that far away. 44.8 kilometres is where we reach that intermediate sprint. So in about just over 20 kilometres. We're rolling along at 72 kilometres an hour now. Baptiste Weistroffer is the solo leader still. He's been out there all day today. His average speed 44.6. The wind has dropped completely, Nico. It's 5 kilometers an hour now out there. It's nothing at all to speak of. So actually, that's going to help him a little bit.
Yes, totally. Low wind or slightly tailwind will be very appreciated when you're riding alone in the front. Because although it's a tailwind for the back as well, so it's not like you have an advantage on the peloton, but it just means the kilometers go quicker.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, he's still riding in his zone. So just say, for example, he decided to ride between 320 and 350. He's still riding 350 or 320. It's just he's carrying a lot more speed if it's a tailwind than a headwind.
Yes, and that means everyone's got to go a little bit quicker. Here he is into the next town. Everybody will have been watching, will have known him. He'll start to hear his name at the side of the road being shouted, such as the Tour de France. It's live on television all day. So there'll be people at the side of the road. Just go out and give him a shout through these various towns. The cars ahead will have told also that Baptiste Weisstroffer is the solo leader. And suddenly everyone on the route, everyone on television knows who this French rider is. Takes another bottle on board. The motorbike comes up alongside him. He pours that over his head. It's very, very warm out there now. 36 degrees. Incredibly hot. The caravan is coming into the race finish now. He's in a big gear. He's rolling it along well. And we are going through Marciac now. The lake nearby, population of 1,230 people. At the end of the Gascon Wars, Guichard de Marciac, the Seneschal of Toulouse and representative of the king, gave his name to this little town. The construction of this church began in the 14th century, shortly after the founding of the town in 1298, and was completed in the 15th century. Nearby, there's a lake of 23 hectares and a lovely 2.8-kilometre walking trail all the way around the lake. One of the outside picks for today is Pascal Ackermann. Is there a possibility that he could win today's stage? He rides with Jaco Alula, and we're going to hear from him now.
Yeah, finally we have a sprint stage. I'm super excited about today. It's the first big chance for us sprinters, and we have not so many chances, so we have to grab every stage we get, and that's why we are here today.
But the question is, have you recovered from 4 very hot days?
Yeah, I mean, everybody is already a bit tired. I think everybody feels the leg a bit, and I tried to save as much as possible. I went every day easy on the climb as soon as possible, and I feel quite good. That's what I can say.
Thank you very much.
Pascal Ackermann, a rider who early in his career won a lot of bike races and in Grand Tours.
Yeah, very solid sprinter. And it was great to see how enthusiastic he is about today. And also clearly saying that everyone's very used to racing in the heat, that I know there's this battle between some riders who are very vocal about the heat, some other riders who are less vocal about the heat. There's like, yeah, we just need to get on with it. It is what it is. Everyone's going through the same. All I had to do was plan, set up when I had to, make sure I could save the legs for today.
You and I have talked about the heat a lot, after the stage in particular. And you touched on it earlier on, that during your racing career, your body had adapted to the fact that it was racing in the heat anyway. You could see the performance, how your performance changed when you weren't racing so much and you went and had your sweat test. So it is possible the riders can acclimatise to this heat and their bodies are just used to it. To a level. Do we need to change everything to be 150k stages only, and that we have to cancel stages and things like that? Or do you just think that the Tour is the Tour and we have to find just ways to cool the riders, look after them, of course medically check they're okay, but the Tour just is always going to be similar?
I think Pedersen's interview was very good yesterday. And he said, yeah, it's the heat, perfectly fine.